attacked.
Go! Mate! Go! Don't you touch me! Okay, we're gonna do.
Excuse me. Please.
Get out of here.
No, we are leaving, but you don't need to hurt us. There's no need to be unkind. Hey,
You can't film. No, don't do it.
The gang's attention turns when a local intervenes and drives his mobility scooter into the most violent attacker.
Move. We've been individually attacked.
Oh, it's getting worse in Sweden again. It is getting worse in Sweden. Of course, they welcomed a lot of people. They did. They welcomed everybody in 2015. Yeah. I don't know if you know, but in 2011, 10, when they start toppling all these dictators, when the West went into Libya, toppled Muammar Gaddafi, they went into Syria, they did all these things, and now they had all these refugees who needed asylum. And boom, Sweden, Germany, all these European countries were like, come, we can do it. We have more space. Come. And now it's getting to the point where the Swedish prime minister or the leader, or however way you want to call him, he says that they've lost control. Yep. Not my words. His word. He's leading his country and he says he's lost control. What's the control? What has he lost control? Well, he's lost control of the gang, the growing tension. He imported problems in, and now these guys are fighting each other. There's almost 30 to 20 plus bombs taking place in Sweden right now. Not right now, obviously. Well, it could be right now. It could be. But almost every single month, in January alone, 2025, over 27 or 28 bombs. Well, these are gang-related violence. Took place in January alone. 20-something bombs in 1 month. Now I don't know if they want to release these figures, but those figures were reported in January. But they don't want to show this thing anymore. But I want to show you what's taking place because the people are saying no and the people are taking it to the street. I don't think you guys have seen these videos. I'm gonna show you. I don't know why it didn't go viral. I've been holding on this story for quite a while. The only media outlet that reported about this was Al Jazeera. And I don't really trust them as much. So I was waiting for other people to do it so I can get multiple sources. But still nothing. This happened 3 days ago. I was literally holding this story for 3 days. So then I can have more information about it. But I guess they don't want to report. So, hey, we're going to report it then. Why do we have to wait for them to verify the stories? So, multiple people took it to the street in Sweden with candles, with lights, and they were screaming, or they were chanting, or they were protesting behind the slogan of remigration in their own country. Obviously, I don't understand. I can't read Swedish, but they are calling for it. And they're becoming very radical with it. And the government, I don't know if they're ignoring them, but obviously the government has admitted into losing control. So maybe they're actually agreeing that, hey, remigration or all these things. But let me show you what took place in Sweden. But before I show you those guys who went out there and protest, I want to show you this video. This video is important. You want to know why this video is important? Because in 2015, when the Arab Spring took place and everybody was, we had, all the Arab countries, all the Muslim countries in Africa and obviously in the Middle East, we had, a protest broke out in Tunisia. I think that's where it started in 2011, January. It started like that. A man burnt himself and that ignited everything. He burnt himself and it started a protest, and the protest went all the way from Tunisia to Morocco to Egypt to all these places, to Sudan, and went through to Middle East, to Syria, Afghanistan, all these places. Everybody was protesting. Everything was going back and forth. And we had the West, the American, calling for the killing of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. which obviously I am not. I do not support that. I have to say it to you. Although this guy, you might say, hey, he did bad things, but his country was doing well under him. But look at Libya right now. Well, thank you so much, right? So that happened. Obviously, all these people were crying for refuge. So the West, so the Europe, so it's particularly Germany, said, hey, we can do it. Bring it. Germany took like 500,000, I think more than that. Sweden took his half. Everybody did their part. And 1 year after that, so this happened in 2015, all these guys came through. In 2016, a reporter from the Swedish 60 Minutes went to the area where these guys were granted refuge. Went to that area to see how welcoming these guys will be. How lovely these guys will be there to embrace the cameras and the reporters to show how great they are and how happy they are looking and how eager they are to integrate and learn the Swedish way of life. No. So let me show you this video. Viewer discretion advised. I might get in trouble for this one. God, okay. Where do we start? Okay, 60 minutes. Cool, 60 minutes. Let's get that video up. All right, there it is.
And they don't assimilate well into the Swedish culture and society, and they're unemployed, and they're poor. So you add all these factors together, and their youth are feeling marginalized and don't speak Swedish very well, so they don't get jobs or get into the Swedish youth culture either.
But not everyone is hostile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my cousin lives in Melbourne.
Many locals are polite and friendly and happy to talk.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
But what happened next changed everything. The police leave, and as we prepare
Changed
to go,
everything.
young men masking their faces arrive.
Good, you're doing good.
You're doing good?
Yeah.
Okay, very
Always.
good.
Take it easy.
Okay, you too.
And attack.
Whoa.
Mate, go! Don't you touch me. Okay, we're gonna drink.
Excuse me. Please.
Get out of here.
No, we are leaving, but you don't need to hurt us.
It's not.
There's no need to be unkind.
You can't
Hey,
You can't film. Don't do it.
The gang's attention turns when a local intervenes and drives his mobility scooter into the most violent attacker.
Move. Well, we've been individually attacked.
Yeah, this was 2016. Yep, that's 60 News, 60 Minutes. I don't know. They had the balls to publish it, to be fair. Most mainstream media outlet do not publish stuff like this. Because obviously they don't want you to see like, hey, they would hate themselves to be in a situation where you and I can use this footage to show how their people who they manipulate the public to vote for on how they destroy their own country. In a sense where they've not able to make and force these guys to integrate or kick them out. So, yeah, this is it. Now, obviously, this is to, I'm not saying all these guys who did this are, all of them were like fresh into the country and they started causing violence. Of course, now I'm not suggesting that. But today, it's been 10 years now. So we can actually read out the reports and we can actually see what's going on. So we should see a little bit of, maybe if these guys were the ones who were causing trouble because they were, unease, they don't know the language, it's cold and they're just stressed and they've lost their country. They're seeing people dying in their country. They've gone through all these war told, like all these horrific stuff. And maybe they were so angry, so they kicked, they seen the camera recording them how angry they were, and they just thought like, I'm just gonna get angry, I'm just gonna kick this woman, I'm gonna kick this guy, I'm gonna try to turn off the camera. Maybe So if somebody was to say that, I'll be like, okay, cool. I'll grant that emotion to you guys. I'll grant that little, I'll give you that. It's a little win for you. But today I can't give you that because it's been 10 years. I'm sure maybe you have seen the way of Swedish life. Did you assimilate? Did you learn a little bit of a thing or two? No? All right. Apparently, in today's news now, nothing has changed. Well, in today's news now, we have 32 gang-related explosive across Sweden. Across Sweden's, Swedish town like Stockholm, Malmö, all these places. 32 gang-related explosive. And it gets even worse. At one point, there were 27 bombings in 27 days. That's an average in one a day. Why are they bombing each other? Why are they fighting? Gang related. And it's getting to the point where now the average age of the people in this gang, I don't know where they're fighting. I don't know what they're doing. Of this maybe tribal fight. Now the average age is going lower and lower and lower, where the teen is like 14-year-old kids are the ones who are carrying these attacks. And you're thinking, hey, what's going on? It's becoming very dangerous, to the point where the prime minister of the country today, what's his name? Let me just get his name. Ulf Kristersson has admitted that he had lost control over bomb violence, and pledged a new legislation to target juvenile crime, young people crime. These are kids. They're assassinating each other in schools, apparently. That's how bad it is. Now, when you look at the report now, there's reports coming in saying 3 out of 4 of murders in Sweden is committed by a migrant. And obviously I tried to verify this to see what's going on. And first of all, AI was quick to dispute that. AI was very quick to say, oh no, this is wrong. And I'm going to quote AI right now. It says, the claim of 3 out of 4 murders in Sweden are committed by a migrant is not official. It's not an official 2024 statistic, but likely refer to a figure from an older study regarding suspect of lethal violence. That's what AI says. Then I was like, okay, cool. Let's dig in. Let's do a little bit digging. Then we find out an article that was made by the BBC. Yes, the BBC themselves. And they titled, Spread of Gang Violence Wrecks Sweden's Peaceful Image, BBC says. Now, when you look up through these, when you look up through this, and the BBC kindly just talks about it, but doesn't point who's doing it. But you can tell the names of the people who are doing it. Man, these are not Europeans' names, but obviously we can keep our mouth quiet to that. The official narratives from the government itself is saying, no, this number is not true. But there's also a lot of publication from mainstream media outlet suggesting that it is in a subtle manner where they're not actually saying who's doing it, but they are saying it's bad. People are dying and young people are killing each other, and it's these areas. And when you look at the demographic in those areas, you're like, man, maybe 60 Minutes was not just a video. It was a warning to what would happen the next 10 years from then. Because it's been 10 years now. Well, it's been 9 years since that video was published, and, because they did it in 2016. But it's been time now. Maybe it was a warning to the future. But here's an article that actually says the numbers that I'll just read out to you, that 3 out of 4 of cases of murder and manslaughter and attempt of murder in Sweden is contributed sorry, it's attributed. Oh God, what the fuck? My dyslexia just goes 100% every time when I'm reading while the camera's on. It's attributed to migration. I'm gonna put a link in the description of this article so you can read it for yourself. But here's one thing I want to switch to. I want to tell you about this thing where there's a guy out there, there's a media outlet that wanted to show how the Swedish country really is, how its people are, you know, and how they do their things. You know, this movie was basically, this company went out there and recorded the Swedish people just doing their thing, walking, shopping, dancing, just doing their normal stuff. It's like you going to London and just have a camera and just film the public to record how it is in Sweden. Now, they published that video. The video went viral, and the Swedish City Council, I think that's what it would be to us, but the city can't, I don't think they call it council, but the city approached the media outlet and told them to take it down. Why? You might be asking. Well, the reason why they should take it down is because the video itself is not showing too many migrants. It's showing too many white people. Don't you dare film in a video about people going around without including a black, Asian, or a diversity, how diverse the town really is. Don't you dare, filmmakers. It's too many whites. You have to take it down. The advert was taken down. So, according to the city's boroughs itself, 32% of its inhabitants have a foreign background, which is in line with general Swedish population. Now, of course, this company, I think it's Boris Times, that's what they call it. They made a film and they put it out there, and the film was asked to be removed. But here's what they said. Here's what the reason why the council says they should remove this thing. And they said, I quote, "But the film completely lacks people with foreign background," they complained. The local news outlet Boris Tidin rings the alarm bell over the alarming lack of perceived diversity in the white-only ad, they say. End quote. And of course, they made these guys, they dragged them through the mud, and they made sure they took it down. Basically, they said, delete this ad, redo it again. And obviously, the filmmakers or this company, this Boris Times company, they responded and they took it down. And here's what they responded, just like you expected. They responded by saying, I understand the criticism and will take it on board. The film is now removed from all our platforms until it's updated and filmed, and until its updated film is in place. The new version will contain what is in our mission. That is to represent diversity and inclusion. End quote from the newspaper. Well, I told the newspaper, whatever. Yeah, this is it. You think it's a joke, but this is not actually a joke. It's a news outlet. I'm going to leave the link in the description for this article. You can go and check it out. This is how bad it is. And they're saying, hey, we've lost control. We've lost control. Oh no, help us. We've lost control. But then they're like, take it down. Show the people, show how diversity we are. God. All right. I didn't intend for this video to be this long, but okay. Let's get to the point where I want to show you this other thing. I want to show you where people took it to the street and protest. I think is important for me to show you that, because I waited for very long for somebody to make that video, but nobody wanted to, I guess. So I guess we're gonna be the first one to publish it here. So let's show you this video, shall we? Here is the video. Yeah. These guys took it outside. They went outside with candles, flames, lights, and they were saying remigration, and they were protesting for against mass migration in their country, because they've seen how dangerous it has become. They see that the government have lost control, because they've said it. They've said it themselves that, hey, we've lost control. And I'm going to leave the link in the description below so you can actually go and find and read it for yourself, the article where the government responding to the bombing, to the 27 bombing in a month. It responded by saying we've lost control. I'm going to leave that article there so you can actually find it. It's actually getting worse. You think, of course, in the UK, we see it. We're like, man, this is, it's getting really bad out here. But over there, it's like, yo, it's bad. In the sense of, gang violence and stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that the Swedish people can be proud of. They go, I don't know much about it, but I think every single country has a lot of good stuff that they can be proud of. And when I say it's getting worse, I'm not saying the country is done, but I'm saying in this aspect in this part of its country, in a sense where violence, gang related, these imported gang war that they brought in, they've lost control, and that is getting worse for themselves. And obviously it's targeting most of the people who are dying in this gang related crime are usually children. Because when I read to you here, which obviously I kind of missed out as well, most of the violence, most of the people who die, the victims who die, many of them were our family members of the criminals who are not directly involved in the crime. So let's say a mother, all right, let's say a family of 3. One of their son is going out there committing crime and is involved in some gang related crime with another gang. Maybe he does something to some gang, and that gang comes after his family, and then that gang either they kill one of these family members. Most of the victims are not related to the are not involved in the gangs. Most of them are family members, so they go after each other's family members. So they don't go directly to each other. They're like, hey, I'm gonna come for your mom, I'm gonna come for your dad, I'm gonna come for your sister. That's what they do. Particularly here, it says here, since 2023, at least 22 innocent people have been killed and 38 wounded in a gang-related shooting and bombing attacks. Many victims were family members of criminals, but not directly involved in a crime. Of course, I'm going to leave the link in this article. It was reported by Nordic Reports. I don't know, that's not a UK report, of course. It's obviously from there. I'm going to leave the link in the description for this. You can actually go and read it for yourself. It's actually getting so bad over there. There's something, I'm probably going to have like 60 links for me to have this information about this particularly gang violence in Sweden. I have to read all these things. And sometimes I have to wait. I literally save videos for days so that I have more information on it. But I guess sometimes some people just don't want to report. So I guess we won't be waiting. We're going to be creating our own, not narrative, but we're just going to be reporting to you. But thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, hand to the head salute. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Thank you.
So then I was born in a refugee camp in Tanzania. At the time, there's so many people ran there. A lot of people were going there, real refugees, after being butchered from the civil war that erupted in Congo. My parents applied for asylum to all the countries. They waited. Now, then I was born in that camp, the same camp. I'm talking tents, I was born there. Now, we're waiting and waiting and waiting. For 14 years, we were waiting. Now, of course, these guys could choose to wait as well, but these guys hijacked that and they come in the country illegally. Now, the media will brand you guys racist, far right, the worst people here, the worst group here. How come the good group didn't invite me to go speak over there? So I call this the greatest awakening because all the way from over there, there's hundreds of people turning up. It's a Saturday, for God's sake. They could easily go around and watch football and have fun, go on a date, do all the lovely stuff they could do. But instead, they want to stand here, rain or not. They're ready to send the message. And I believe the message will be received today. Thank you so much.
For anybody in the back who struggled to hear this young man's story, an incredible, brave young man.
Oh yes, I do.
British Christian values, regardless of his own beliefs.